Hey guys, welcome back to my studio, or if you're new here, welcome to my studio. My voice probably sounds a little congested still. I'm still sick like I was in my last video, but we're getting better every day, so bear with me. But today I want to try out some inks. I have always been very curious about inks. I used to be pretty scared of them because they're permanent, and for some reason that just kind of terrifies me. But you know, I used to be scared of watercolors too, and I recently have started really loving them, so I thought maybe I could learn to love inks as well. But anyway, I found these Ferris Wheel Press inks. I watched, I think it was Emily Hughes. She's an awesome artist on YouTube, and she had, I think she got sent colors by Ferris Wheel Press. I just bought these. These are not sponsored, not anything like that, but they were having a promotion for something. I can't remember now because it was a while ago, but I got these 3 colors, and look at the packaging. Like, it is just so gorgeous. I opened these before, but I had to put them, I keep them in their box because the box is just too gorgeous to get rid of. The box themselves are a piece of art, so I have to keep them. And the colors I got are, the blue one is Celestial Soiree, I think that's how you say it, and the reddish one is Radiant Rose Wing, and then the purpley one is called Harlequin Dream. And I didn't realize this at the time, but I guess it's very on brand if you know me. The colors I chose were literally blue, pink, and purple, which tends to creep in every aspect of my life, especially my art. And I didn't even mean to. I just went on their website and I picked 3 colors that spoke to me, and these were the 3 colors. But 2 out of the 3, the Radiant Rose Wing and the Celestial Soiree, have little glitters in them, or mica powder. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it makes it so sparkly and shiny, and that is definitely part of the reason why I chose those colors. But before I got into actually drawing, I wanted to kind of swatch them out and see how they looked on paper. This isn't watercolor paper, so it's not really good for inks, but I have used watercolor on this paper before and it held up really well. So I just thought I would use my regular sketchbook for the swatches, and then maybe later on, when I get a little more comfortable using the inks, I could try some actual watercolor paper. But I just swatched them out and I added some water to make the colors lighter, just like I would with watercolor. And then I tried mixing them a little. The problem is the paint dries, or not paint, the ink dries so quickly on this paper because it just, I don't know, it just like soaks it up and dries out. I don't know, but so I couldn't really get like a nice gradient, but that's okay. It doesn't really bother me, and I actually kind of like the splotchiness. I've grown to really enjoy like little imperfections, in air quotes, like that, because I think it can really add character to art. But anyway, so I did these swatches and I really love each of the colors. I think they're so vibrant, so pretty. The pinkish reddish one took a little bit more effort. I actually found myself having to, like, even though I shook it up, I kind of preferred dipping my brush directly into the jar, like all the way to the bottom, because I got more of like the sparkles that way once like they would settle, because I thought that it didn't have that much of a sparkle on its own, which I actually kind of use that to my advantage, which you'll see once I start on the actual drawing. Oh, and I just had to add a shot of the water. I know you can't tell very well, but the water got this really beautiful blue color and it had little sparkles in it, and it was just so nice to look at. I actually still have it on my desk, but I'm gonna have to get rid of it or else my cat will try to drink the water. But I just think it's so pretty, I don't want to get rid of it. So anyway, onto the actual artwork. So I actually drew this when I bought the inks because I wanted to make a video several months ago, but it just didn't happen. partly because I was too afraid to use inks and also because I just had other things that I wanted to do. But I drew this girl. I don't usually draw. I haven't drawn something like this in a long time. Like very shoujo, very, I don't know, elegant and pretty, maybe? I draw a lot of cute characters, but I feel like I don't draw a lot of pretty characters, if that makes any sense. But I don't know, I just felt inspired by the colors, especially the Radiant Rose Wing. And that's actually, I'll show you at the end, but I actually drew another piece that I was going to work on in this video. Well, not another piece, but I drew another sketch that I was going to color in this video, but this ended up taking me a long time. So the video would have been like 30 minutes long. So I just thought I would break it up into two, but I think that the next one is going to be just a short rather than a full-length video. So you'll see at the end what sketch I'm going to do for that one. But I ended up only using the Radiant Rose Wing, so like the reddish color in this specific video. So my strategy for this was to just kind of dive right in and treat it like I would watercolors, but trying to move faster than I would with watercolors because it dries so quickly. So I kind of knew that I would struggle getting like a nice smooth gradient, and I kind of just rolled with that. And honestly, I really like it. I really like how quickly that it dried on this paper. I'll have to test it on actual watercolor paper, but one of my gripes with watercolors is that I like to work quickly, and usually that results in very splotchy areas of color because I didn't let the color beneath it dry, so it reactivated and it just ended up being a huge mess. But with this, it dries so quickly that I can just layer and layer and layer, kind of like with gouache. So I really liked that, and I definitely used that technique without even really trying. It just came naturally to me for this drawing. Something else that I really liked about using these inks is the fact that you could do a darker color, like a darker value, and then you can do a wash of ink over it, and it won't reactivate the color underneath, but it will add some depth and add, hi kitty, but it'll just add a little bit of depth to the painting as a whole. And I think it looks so cool. As you can tell, I had a lot of fun using these, and I'm definitely going to use them a lot more in the future. So for the majority of the painting, I would just dip the brush in the jar and then add it to my palette, and then add a little bit of water to water it down, or use it more opaquely, like adding less water. But as I got to her corset and some other areas, like part of her lip and her earrings and the little gem that she's holding, I wanted to have as much sparkle as possible. So thankfully by that time, all of the glitter stuff had settled to the bottom of the jar. So rather than mixing it up again, I just let it settle, and then I dipped my brush all the way to the bottom, and it was so saturated with glitter, and it became this like really beautiful reddish orangey color that complemented the more pinkish tones really nicely. So I'm glad that I tried that, and I'm glad it ended up that way. So after getting all the color that I wanted to get down with the inks down, well, I keep saying inks, but it's only one ink, with the single ink color that I used. I wanted it I wanted to add a little bit more color to it, but I didn't want to add any of the other inks that I got because I wanted to keep it very, very pink. So instead what I did was I went in with a few colored pencils. I went in with this yellow and added a bunch of little yellow accents, and then later on I go in with a teal color to kind of complement. I just really love how pink, teal, and yellow look together. I think it's such a nice little combination. So I just did that, and then at the very end you'll see I add a little bit more details with a Posca pen, as usual. Oh, and I also did some outlines with this magenta colored pencil, and I think that that really tied everything together and just made it look more finished, and I really like how that looked. And I think that's all I have to say about this piece, so I'm going to leave you be for a while, enjoy the music, and I will come back in a bit. So here's how this little sketch turned out. I really like it. I really like the colors. This pink is just absolutely friggin' gorgeous, and of course I love the sparkles. And as you could see, when it's really saturated, like the little accents I told you about, they just really, it just really pops, and I just think it looks so cool. But before we go, I wanted to show you what I did with the Celestial Soiree, which is the blue sparkly ink. I actually made a short of this one, so if you want to watch that, that's on my channel. And the page of sketches next to it of the little fireflies and plants, I'm going to do in another short probably next week, so look forward to that. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! I'd like to give a quick shout out to my awesome Patreon sponsors, Cup of Leo, Harry Hamster, Subside, Nene, Mikey, and Gumi. You guys are super duper awesome, and I very much appreciate your support.